Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I hope you're having a fantastic day. This is take two for Facebook. Instagram, you got, Facebook one, Instagram, you got take two. Sorry about that, Erica. I have a computer program that I use to go live for the daily show here, and I had it left on the Hey Ed community. That's a private community of ours, so I had to go in and switch it out. So that's why we're a couple minutes late here on Facebook. Welcome to those joining. If this is your first time, say hello. If you're returning, you better say hello because you know what we're all about. We're all about them comments, right? So just so you know, if you're new around here, this is a business talk show. We talk about business, tech, and the user experience. Today we're going to talk about how you can stay relevant and stay visible. Yesterday, if you missed yesterday's show, we have all the recap over on edtalktv.com. Matter of fact, I will make it so much easier for you guys. On Instagram, you have, by the way, we're streaming on Instagram and Facebook today. On Instagram, you have my link in my bio that you can check out at any point in time. That will get you everything you need to know. Join my email list, join Hey Ed community, whatever you need. Work with me, learn from me, all that stuff. Facebook, I just popped it in the comments. Of course, you can always look at the About section. Don't be shy. Be sure to share this out with your friends because you know how these algorithms are. They're not trying to give us all this organic reach and help us out, right? So keep that in mind because I don't do paid ads, just so you know. There might be a time and a place for that at some point, but currently all my stuff is organic. It's just me and you making it happen. So just keep that in mind and always, help me out, help us out. So let me know where you're tuning in from. Even if you're watching the replay, I want to hear from you. Also, the users, the people that are showing up in the comments, they want to hear from you too. Even if it's just to say hello, because the magic happens in the comments, and that's how you're going to make connections. Erica says, I need to try that next week, streaming on both platforms. Yeah, it's fun, you guys. I will tell you, for those who are new, we've been doing the show. We're on episode, I think it is 79. We're on episode 79. We've been doing it since, officially, we've been doing the show since Spokane, Washington. Nice, Cody. We've been doing the show officially since January of this year, and we're on episode 79. We wanted to switch things up, I think, a couple episodes ago, so now we're doing it in both places. Instagram, you just get a different perspective than you do on Facebook, but the show is on Facebook, and then we put it over on our website, so everyone can take it wherever they're at, even if you don't have a Facebook or an Instagram account that's on my website, so everyone goes home happy. So, random news, and then we'll jump into today's content. Part of random news, I'm going to get this out of the way on my other browser here and show you guys. There we go. So fun fact is when you go live from the desktop, you can use a program called Ecamm Live, which is what I use. It's a Mac-only program. If you're a PC user, you can use something like BeLive.tv. And you can use your computer screen. So that's why on Facebook, if you guys see the show on Facebook, you'll see screen shares and things like that pop up. But for random news, Amazon, because who doesn't love Amazon, right? Amazon apparently launched internet browser back in March, and now it's kind of getting some feedback / press here in the US. Hey, Mickey, welcome on Facebook. This is her favorite time of the day, is the random news. So Amazon launched a web browser, kind of like Safari, Firefox, Chrome. I think Opera's another one. There's all these different ones. Matter of fact, let me ask you, do you know what web browser you're using? It can be on your phone, it can be on your computer, it doesn't matter. If you do, let me know in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. And so with that, Amazon has created this new web browser called, wait for it, Internet! Anybody? No? Yeah, I didn't think so either. So they've created this web browser that's called Internet, and it is, Lisa on Facebook says she uses Safari. Nice. Mickey says she uses Chrome. She's over on Facebook. Perfect. Yeah, we all are going to use different browsers. Most of us will stick to one. I love Chrome. I used to be all Safari, and now I'm Chrome. But I use Safari for like testing and just having a different perspective. Chrome is going to have some good updates. I just read where they're automatically going to block autoplay videos. FYI. You shouldn't have an autoplay video with sound, that is, on your website. Cody on Instagram says he uses Chrome too. Nice. So Chrome's going to be having that update where it will automatically block the autoplay videos. So just keep that in mind. Remember, we're all about the user experience. And it's very important that if you do something, that you pay attention. And for example, if you add a video that autoplays to your website, pay attention to how people react to that. Ask people, what do you think about autoplay videos? Get that feedback, because 9 out of 10 times for that specific example, people are going to be like, I can't stand them. I don't want to listen to audio play automatically. We've seen that on websites like Mashable.com. I love Mashable, but user experience is poor over there. They need help. They're not picking up the phone when I call, So it's one of those things that Mickey says, I used to love Internet Explorer, but people laughed at me. Yeah, Internet Explorer, no offense, Internet Explorer is out there. It's still out there. But Chrome and Safari are like the two most popular. Firefox kind of comes in to that third spot, but the two that you get the most are Chrome and Safari. So you got to pay attention to the user experience. And so Amazon created this web browser called Internet. We're going to talk about that in a second. That it sounds like it's mostly for places that have trouble with getting online and things. Like this one specifically is in India where they launched it. And reading this TechCrunch article, it talks about that it's probably going to stick there, but it's like a super light app, meaning it's small in terms of size for your storage. It doesn't take up much storage on your device, and it's supposed to be quick, and it doesn't take up a lot of information, meaning it doesn't pull up a lot of your info and all this stuff. So anyway, but the name Internet, how do you guys feel about that? As a user, even if you don't have this browser, that's fine. It's only available for Android phones, by the way, too, right now. But how do you feel about them creating a web browser with the name Internet? What are your thoughts on that as a user? This is a user's perspective. This is kind of a open feedback session, as if we were just brainstorming. I just want to know, even if you're watching the replay, what do you think about that name Internet for a web browser? Now, I know a lot of you are listening in the car or right before you go to bed for our UK viewers. Cody on Instagram says, sounds generic. Yes, I would agree. The first thing that came to mind, besides it being generic for me, was actually confusion. I automatically was confused. I was thinking of people being confused. Mickey on Facebook says, it's brilliant because people will intuitively think to click to go online. So see, this is part of the brainstorming. I like it. This is what I love to do, you guys. Erica says, I feel like it doesn't set itself apart from anything else. Could get, quote, lost in the shuffle. Yeah. So see, this is what it's all about. Cody says, right? So this is what it's about, brainstorming. This is where it gets fun, you guys. This is the information that you want to start thinking about for any kind of product or service you're creating. You want to think about, what would this mean for our users? Now, we already see 3 people right now, the different perspectives, right? For me, I thought, okay, it's pretty generic, so I get it. And it does make sense, kind of sticking with Mickey's point there. It does make sense given their target market and that they're helping people get online. So it does make sense in that part. Internet, okay, boom, I get to everything I need to go to. It's a web browser, boom, it does that. Thinking, though, here, in this state of mind, knowing that we have internet access and we have these devices and everything, internet, to me, right away, I'm thinking of people who are not tech savvy. Doesn't matter your age, you're just not tech savvy, right? Those automatically will be confused. Because when you say internet, it can mean so many things. It can mean your Wi-Fi. It can mean your device. I mean, to different people, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that, but people will interpret internet differently. And then they're thinking their phone, I'm using my phone, so I'll use my case. They think their phone is the internet. And so having the app called internet and trying to do tech support, like I'm thinking, I put my tech support hat on and I'm thinking, how do you explain to somebody that they have to get on the internet, get online, but they need to use the app called internet? I don't know. It's something to think about. I think that the name, they could have done a little more brainstorming with it. Erica on Facebook says, I appreciate the simplicity of the name. Exactly. It just depends on the intent. You have to look at your target market. You have to look at what is out there. Again, going with this, hey, Chrissy on Facebook, you have to just think of all the variables there. Mickey on Facebook says, Google became a verb, quote, Google it. Yep, I think they're brilliant marketers, so I figured they are already planning to become, quote, the internet, even when we are on other options. Totally true, yeah. No worries, Chrissy on Facebook, being late, it's good. So, it's just things that, it's just an open discussion. These are the examples that you want to pull from and think about and, really run with and kind of play around with the brainstorming and think, okay, if I was Amazon and I came up with this app and this name, what situation am I in? Who are my target market? Who is my target market? What are they doing? Do they have other devices? Are they younger? Are they older? Are they familiar with tech? All those types of things will play a part in there. So keep that in mind. So that's part of random news today. The rest of the show is going to be sort of random news, but it's going to be more of what we're talking about, which is how we can stay relevant and how we can be visible. And so part of that is a couple things that came up on the news today. Let me make sure that this video doesn't play. Okay, so AAA, we're going to start with, so there's going to be two tech, well, they're not really tech, but we're going to talk about two different companies and what they're doing to stay relevant and see your take on it. So when it comes to the Bay, so I'm in Northern California, just putting that out there for those who are new and don't know. Northern California, and in San Francisco, which is not far, there's going to be a huge event. Can anybody guess, given our time frame here, anybody guess what that event is going to be for California / San Francisco specifically? Erica on Facebook, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I don't do this, but it's going to be a huge one. And so down in the city, they're having a big 420 event. I mean, like huge. And of course, because marijuana is now legalized in California, I'm sure it's just going to be even more massive. So it's one of those things that they know that they can't do anything about this party. It's going to be there. Erica says, hey, meet up at Ed. No, Erica. I would stay far away from that crowd, just saying for me. But they're going to have this big, huge event in Hippie Park. Cody on Facebook says, yep, he knows. So it's one of those things that they're having this big event, and AAA is staying relevant. They're staying in the news. Can you guess what they're doing? Some of you might already know. Have you seen this? Erica on Facebook says, yes, the 420 event is about 1.5 miles from her house. Yeah. So you don't have to go far. You don't have to go far, Erica. Just go out, open up your window, I guess, and hang out, right? But AAA is in the news because they offer what's called a Tipsy in Tow program. They usually do it around the holidays, but for the first time ever, they're going to offer 420 services, meaning that on Friday, starting at 420, it's tomorrow, starting at 420 on Friday, they're going to be out there and available for people that need to get home but are not able to drive. And so they have this Tipsy in Tow program. Now, I don't know all the specifics in terms of like how many people they'll put out on the streets. If you call a number, it didn't really say on here. Cody on Instagram says, brilliant. Exactly, right? That's the thing. Oh, Chrissy on Facebook, our UK viewer, she wants to know what's 420. So it's all about marijuana, smoking your marijuana. it's that's all I got. That's actually all I really know. I'm sure others watching, replay viewers, can fill us all in. But yeah, so like Cody says, it's brilliant, right? You're being relevant. First off, it's AAA. AAA. I mean, how often do you hear them in the news? They're a towing company. And hey, Carol on Instagram, Cody on Instagram says Uber and the likes should have done it too. Yeah, exactly. So UK viewers, by the way, AAA is a towing company, and during the holidays they'll do this Tipsy in Tow. So they'll help you get home, basically, where they tow your car for you for free and get you home safely. Super smart, really good promotion for them throughout the holidays, and they're good to have, and they have insurance and all this other stuff. Erica on Facebook says, I get a little snarled in the traffic around Golden Gate Park. Yeah, there's just way too many people for me. Sorry, way too many people. But it allows them to stay relevant. So now they've done this program, Tipsy in Tow, for holiday season. And then this year, for the first time ever, they're going to do it for 420 celebrations. Super smart because, one, they're getting free advertisement from the news. They're getting free coverage, you guys, because they're going out. And again, I don't know the specifics in terms of how many people they're putting out there or how the whole process works. But let's just pretend that they're like, okay, cool, for 6 hours, I don't know, 7 hours, whatever, that they're going to have 5 people on call, maybe 10 people on call, and it's just for one day. And they're going to get all this free publicity from the news organizations because they're doing something for free to help people get home safely. Who doesn't love that story, right? And so they're getting that free publicity. And then starting tomorrow at 420, they're going to be available for people who need to get home but are intoxicated. And so that's a really good strategy to have, a safety, an insurance company, a towing company, helping you get to where you need to go, right? They could turn that into a commercial. I mean, all of that stuff. And I'm sure they probably have Tipsy in Tow commercials. But it's one of those things that it's just smart when it comes to that marketing. And like Cody was saying, like Uber and Lyft could have done that too. I haven't heard anything in terms of like if they're giving free rides or not. I know not for this type of an event, but I know I've heard in the past of them doing free rides for certain things. But it's being relevant and being visible. They're being relevant and they're now getting that visibility. Ties into what we talk about every day, right? They're showing up, they're delivering, they're providing value, and they're engaging by getting on the news for free. So think about that, those types of examples, and run with those, and think, when things come up like that, that's just how my brain works is, some of you saw this on last night's live for my personal, but it's one of those things like, how can I make it better? What's the strategy here? Like, that's just what happens when I see magazines and articles and things like that. And that's what I want you to start doing too, because that's what's going to help you in your business and help you grow. Also, those tuning in, don't forget to share and comment, even if you're watching the replay. So that's the first one. Now, speaking of transportation and Uber and AAA on all these things, we want to talk about disrupting. Let me see. Mickey on Facebook says, Uber and Lyft have non-professional drivers who may be hard to insure for knowingly transporting high passengers. There you go. See, logistics. There's always the fine print, the details, right? So by staying relevant and being visible, let's talk along the lines of Uber and Lyft. And of course, if you don't know what Uber and Lyft are, they're basically ride sharing. And we talked actually about Uber on a previous episode, I think earlier this week or end of last week. And we talked about how, they're branching out after so many years. I forget how many years now. I think 6 or 7 or 8, something like that. After all these years of just being Uber, the ride sharing service, and really stepping that up and diving deep and really understanding their market, now they're starting to branch out to bike share, I forget, where you can buy transportation tickets, all kinds of stuff, right? They're expanding. Lyft might need to step up their game. I don't know how long they've been around, but they hopefully are closely watching Uber and making notes, because that's how they're going to stay relevant and that's how they're going to stay visible. So between those two, you have those are your main ride sharing ones. Now, what if I told you a car maker, a manufacturer, is trying to jump into that game? What do you think about that? And who do you think, out of all the car manufacturers, who do you think might be the one trying to jump into this game? While you do that, I'm just going to look at my notes real quick. Any takers? I know it's so weird when I stop talking. It's so quiet because I can't hear you guys when you're like, Ed, how about this one? Ed, over there. Oh yeah, this one. Erica on Facebook is talking to Chrissy. Not all states, talking about the 420 thing. Mickey on Facebook says Hyundai. Cody says Tesla. Ooh, Cody on Instagram. That's a good guess. Tesla. It's not, but that's a good guess. And actually, that would probably be smart for them to get some good PR. I think, because I feel like they've been getting some bad press lately. It's one of those things where I don't know what's going on with them. I haven't stayed up on the news with them, but I know that the things that I've been seeing, the headlines, don't seem so positive, are not so positive. Believe it or not, it's actually Ford. The automaker Ford is actually trying to jump into this business. Isn't that interesting? Cody says, yeah, exactly, regarding the press for Tesla. So Ford wants to jump into this game. Now, this is an interesting one, because when you think of Ford, UK viewers, you might not have heard of Ford, but it's our American automaker for cars. That's all I think about is cars, right? And so when you think of Ford, it kind of makes sense because they manufacture cars, and why not? Like, it's a ride-sharing service, or a car ride-sharing service that you'd want to get into. And so you kind of, hey, Tisha, I'm pretty sure I said that right. Sorry, I feel like I always mess it up over on Facebook, and I'm doing multiple things, so it's like, but I love you. I'm glad you're here. So we'll put you up on screen there. So when it comes to, she knew right away, she's like, I'm popping in right now because this is where the content gets good. So Ford, we got the F's there. Ford is now jumping into, good, I'm glad I got it right. I'm probably going to always do that, just so you know, on Facebook. And it's always going to make you laugh. It's always going to make your day. So there we go. Ford is now launched on Wednesday. They launched Go Ride. So it's actually called Ford's Go Ride service. And it works with Michigan Healthcare Network to provide patients with rides to medical appointments. For non-emergency trips, the on-demand transit vans can drop off patients at 200 facilities in the health network there. So they really are starting out with that, with the health area. Looks like in Michigan, but they want to include whether it's work commutes or drives to the doctor. So they're really targeting work health, right? And so Erica on Facebook says, oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's very interesting. And it's one of those things that I don't know how I feel about it, because I think it's smart, because it's Ford and they make cars, and they have to think, what next? How do we stay relevant? How can we become visible? Like, they've been doing car manufacturing for how many years now? There's nothing new underneath the sun. Yes, they can come out with new models and stuff, but it's like, So they have to figure out, how can we do something different? How can we disrupt? How can we get out there? How can people remember us? We have these great car commercials, but we want to be known for a little bit more than just buying your next car. Especially if you have all these things like Teslas, and you have, more electric cars. I mean, Ford can come out with electric, and they probably have. I haven't looked at Fords lately, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to be smart, and branch out, see what else they can do, what other markets they can tap into. And so it looks like they're testing this now in that network. And so far, 15 transit vehicles outfitted to accommodate different types of passengers, like those in wheelchairs, are available. 10 more will be added in coming months, and a total of 60 will serve patients throughout the Midwest states by the end of the year. Smart. Smart. Erica on Facebook says, I think Sidecar tried to get into that game with Uber and Lyft, started the edge them out. Healthcare transport. Yeah. Cody says on Instagram, they need something new and big. Exactly, right? And that's what you guys want to be thinking about. You know, and I'm telling you, but I'm telling myself too, we have all these great ideas, which is good. We write them down, we start pursuing some of them, but we have to remember that once we hit that groove, we need to really dive deep and really run in with that. Go deep, get to know your people, get to know what they want, and just hold it down for a while with the intent of thinking bigger. It's part of that BSQ method that I talk about. Think big, act small, move quickly. So you want to know what you're doing, dive deep with that, but always think of, okay, what's your milestone and what's the next thing? So you hit that milestone, but before you hit that, you need to know what's the next thing and what's the next thing. And then in this case, when we're talking about Ford, they've hit that milestone. They got their new cars, they got so many people, whatever. But now it's how do we really get into the community? Because it's all about community now more than ever, right? So how do we do that? Well, what's working for people? What are people liking? Well, they're liking these car ride services. Some, like Erica, if I remember correctly, in the city on Facebook, she doesn't have a car. You don't need a car in the city. I wouldn't have a car in the city. So more people are ditching the car because they want the easy transportation. So now Ford's well, we need to still keep our target market. We still need to keep our customers. How do we do that? How do we make it different? Yeah, she says correct on Facebook. So that's what you kind of want to strategize all the time. That's what you want to think about. I'm just reading this article. So they're planning on expanding the program beyond Michigan. That's in the works right now, but the company didn't have information on when to expect that. A pilot program launched at the end of last year in the Beaumont, if I said that correctly, Health ordering services. It saw a 92% on-time rate. 92% on-time rate to their appointments. Now, here, okay, so I don't know if this ties into what they're talking about. I think it does. But I will tell you from back in the day, so real quick side story because it ties in. My dad had a massive stroke. And so in that time, well, he had it, and right side's paralyzed, so I have to drive him places and stuff. Anyway, at the beginning, because I was in school working and all this stuff, he had to go to the city to the VA hospital down there. From where we are, that's a good hour and a half or so commute both ways. That's a lot of time. That's hard to do, especially when I was in school still and working and all of that stuff. So thankfully I was able to do it. But when I was down there, I would hear about the bus rides. The VA has a whole bus system or whatever. And it's one of those things that you're on somebody else's time. It's just like a city bus, right? But the stories that I would hear from the patients who would take the bus, because the routes are just bonkers. I mean, I couldn't even explain it, but if you have to go from point A to point B, which is not too far, you'd have to go all the way to C or D first before you can get to B, if that makes any sense. They're just crazy. And some people wait hours, you guys. So, something like this is needed across the board, especially for those who are needing to go to the doctor a lot. Our elders, there's a lot of people that just don't have anybody. And if they do, but they can't take them, how awesome is that? Oh, let me just order you the ride service. You don't even have to be tech savvy. I'll do it myself. Boop. Okay, they'll be there. Be ready. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. On Facebook, thank you, Chrissy. Mickey says, sounds like a typical federal government program. Exactly, right? So it's smart. And having the 92% on time rate, that's good. See, they're looking at their numbers and they're testing. Keyword, testing. You don't know if it's going to work. They're taking a big risk. They're a big company and they're taking a big risk on this, right? Trying to see. So they're doing a pilot program. Beta testing. That's what we would call here online, a beta test. Whether you're trying to launch a new course, a new program, a new service, you can beta test. You can even break it down all the way to a landing page where you collect email addresses. You know, before I launched StupidEasy.com, and for those who don't know, that's an online course marketplace platform where if you're building an online course, go there and check it out. It's easier to build your course and it's a lot cheaper to sell your courses on there. So check it out. But before I built that, I put up a landing page. Nothing else. I mean, it was an ugly landing page too. I didn't care. I was just like, I just want to put little information, keep it mysterious, and have a spot for you to pop in your email if you're curious about a new way to get online courses made easily without being tech savvy. That's not exactly what I put on there, but you get what I'm saying. So that's all I did for like the first year, because I was working on the research, I was working on the data and building the site, sketching it out, and all that stuff. So you can do that. That's part of that research. That's part of that testing. If you're not sure, put up a landing page. Put up a free MailChimp. If you don't have a website yet, MailChimp has a free landing page part that you can create for your email list. Doesn't have to be fancy. You just have to have something to point people to. That's all you need. Mickey on Facebook says, we do have Dial-A-Ride and Access in Southern California for people with certain medical needs, seniors. Oh, yeah, cool. I wonder how Ford will disrupt. Yeah, it will be interesting because we do have up here a thing called Volunteer Wheels, which is great. That's part of the community that you can purchase ride tickets, which is what he uses now, my dad. But it's one of those things that how great, the point that Mickey made. I wonder how Ford will disrupt. So they're being smart from what we know right now. They're being smart because they're testing. They're just doing a small sample pool in Michigan, right? I think is what I said. In Michigan, which it's a good spot to test, and they can really run with this if it works the way they want it to. And hopefully, this is what we talk about. Can you guys think about what I'm going to say next? Can you think about it? We've talked about this a lot. I'll give you a hint. Gary Vee talks about it too. I hope that they are documenting their process. I don't just mean, oh, we got people 92% on time. That's good. You need those numbers for specific reports. I mean, I hope they are documenting the stories. I hope they are documenting the engagement that they're having. Hopefully, Ford, if you're listening, here's your freebie. Here you go. I'm telling you, you guys, this is what happens. I hope, thank you, Chrissy on Facebook, she said document, yep. So I hope, Ford, you're listening, or somebody who's connected, tell them like, hey, we need this guy Ed to be up on our marketing, like help us out, call me. But it's one of those things that, Ford, I hope you are documenting what that looks like, what the process is, who you're engaging with, and then take it the next step. This is the thing, you guys, if you are, write this down, make note of it, share, whatever, tag a friend, this is the point to get to, especially because it's Ford, but anybody can take this advice and run with it. Document your process, Ford, not just the numbers for your reports, but document for your publicity, for your community involvement. I'm not getting to the right words here, but that's kind of where we're going. Document the process because that's your content. That's your social media content. That's the content you can put on your website. True stories. How do people feel? Ask them if you can record them and have these stories ready to go so that whatever happens with this program, even if it does, let's say, okay, worst case scenario, you guys, worst case scenario. Let's say this program doesn't go anywhere. They're like, okay, we tested it, it worked out great, but you know what? We can't push it forward. Okay, but if you have those stories documented, you can still use that and have this as an example because you're what? That's right. That's right. I know you said it. I heard it. You're relatable. You're relatable. Yes, you're Ford. You're this big old company that is huge and you're all about cars, but guess what? You're now relatable. You won my heart because you have those relatable stories, right? So think about that, you guys, and know that that's the content that we want. All of us. Here, it's supposed to be like this, but whatever. That's the content we want. That's the content we want to share. And that's the stuff that takes us to the next level. So that's what I can imagine for Ford, is that hopefully they're doing something like that and documenting it, because if it doesn't work out, hey, you still have content you can use. You can still talk about it. Use it as an example. If it does work out, best case scenario, they work out, well, now you have your whole PR strategy already set. Throw up a new page on the website. Throw up some videos on your YouTube channel. Start showing that stuff off. Dive deep into those stories. Connect with your audience. That's how you show up, deliver, and engage. That's how you get to the next level. Chrissy on Facebook says, "Oh, you have given me such a great idea for my group." Bam! That's what I'm here for, you guys. That's why they pay me the big bucks. But wait. I don't know. Somebody does, I'm sure. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the stuff that you need to start thinking about. And that's what I want you to start doing, is documenting that and really just getting out there, because it doesn't matter if the program works. And I say the program because we're not just talking about Ford anymore. We're talking about you guys. If it works, that's a bonus. Let's just put that out there. If it works, that's a bonus. What you're going for is the show up, deliver, and engage factor. That's what you're going for. Everything else is just bonus. A few of us, Erica on Facebook had posted a great, today has been amazing. It's just been, I should not have had coffee today, because the energy from you guys throughout the internet and everything has been amazing enough. So I shouldn't have had coffee, because that just took me to the next level. But when you think about it, share posts with people, tag your friends with gratitude and all of that. Because, Erica on Facebook, she posted earlier how she's so grateful that she has such a good group of entrepreneur friends. Yes, I was included in that. And how she's so lucky. We're all so lucky to be here and hang out. I'm thankful every day that you guys show up. That means the world to me, especially because you could be doing anything else with your day. You could be listening to anybody else. You could be watching anybody else. But for whatever reason, you're here. Even if you're watching the replay and it's Sunday, it doesn't matter. Days doesn't matter. The fact that you're here means the world to me. And it reminds me that that's why I have to do this. This is why I love doing this. Because somebody needs this message. Just like somebody needs your message. Which is why you need to show up and deliver. And engage. But the first two are the required ones that you have to do, because if you don't do those, you can't get the engagement part. So that's why I always kind of break it up with the first two. But we don't know how things are going to turn out. I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow and my whole business is going to be gone, right? Cody on Instagram says, we all have the same 24 hours. It's all in how we send it. Exactly. We all have the same time. And it's all how we spend it. And for me, Carol says, this is so true. Good reminder. Yeah, for me, I could wake up tomorrow, you guys, and my business could be over. I hope not. I'd be crushed, but it's a possibility, right? And so every day I'm like, geez, people actually care. People want to know. I have stuff that I can deliver. I can help people. I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what you want to be doing too. And it's so cool to see your growth, because I see you guys. I see your growth constantly online. In your groups, Cody, we'll start looking here on Instagram. I'm trying to step up Instagram views in terms of people I'm watching, but I'm mostly on Facebook. Misty, hey, how are you on Facebook? But you guys, everyone around me is growing. And I'm not saying directly because of me. I'm saying I get to see them grow, which is awesome. That energy, that vibe is what I want to bring to you. That's why it's important. We talk about this a lot lately. This is the big thing. This is why it's important for you to surround yourself with a community. Now, I'm not just talking about my community, the Hey Ed community. Yes, you can join that if you want, and it's there. But if that's not for you, or you're not at that level yet, no problem. By the way, it's at any level, so just FYI. But it's one of those things that join a community, whether free or paid, that you can be a part of to make sure that you have that vibe, that energy around you. Make sure that you have those podcasts you can turn to. Make sure that you have the lives that you can turn to, the posts that you can turn to. Like, you have to be in control of what you're bringing in. Like, we can't control Facebook algorithm. We can't control Instagram algorithm, but we can control who we really want to see because we know their profile. We can go to their direct link. In fact, on Facebook, you can actually create your own feeds, FYI. If you didn't know that, you can actually create your own feeds, so then you could actually go to just those people. Instagram, I haven't seen that as an option. I don't think that that's an option on Instagram, but maybe. Cody says, I just switched from Facebook, building a new community on IG. Oh, nice. Cody, on Instagram, why did you switch, if you don't mind me asking? Because viewers are going to want to know. It will be interesting. I'm curious if it's also tied to the data breach, if maybe that was a factor. But it's one of those things, you guys, that you want to just make sure that you can surround yourself with as many resources. That includes the community, people, audio, video, all that stuff. That's all part of the resources. You need to surround yourself with those resources because it's going to get hard. It's going to be challenging. You're going to want to cry sometimes. You're going to be furious sometimes. You're going to be so over the top happy sometimes. You're going to not know what to do. You're going to be afraid. You're going to want to do something, but you just are questioning yourself too much. You're overthinking it, right? Excuse me, we had a conversation about that the other day. Cody on Instagram says, new crowd and using both as a test. Boom. Smart, Cody. Smart. Test it. Erica on Facebook says, so important. Make such a difference to have others going through similar walks and encouraging you. Yeah, and you guys, sure, here's another thing that you can think about. When you join a community, you're not just joining for that person. For example, I'm going to use mine just because it's easier. You're not just joining the community for me. I mean, sure, that might be the big part of why you're joining it, because you're like, hey, this dude's cool, let's do this. But you're actually joining to be around others. You're joining to be able to help each other out. And I will tell you, I'm so darn proud of you guys, both in my community and watching here, even if you're watching the replay, because you're communicating in the comments, that you guys support each other. That you're not just like, oh, well, we're just going to wait for Ed, or we're just going to wait for, the teacher, the master, whatever you want to call it. No, you guys are still doing the work. Even if you're not sure, you're going to pop in and say, well, I don't know, but have you checked this? Or I've had that, so I'm going to follow. I'm going to see what happens. Or I Googled this and I'm not sure if it helps, but in the meantime, that's a resource. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to be, is a resource. You want to help people. Letitia says that, yeah, I'm overthinking it. I'm telling you, we all do. Myself included. But the more and more that you can step out, the more and more that you have those people around you. And I say people because here's the thing. Podcasts are great. Live video obviously is great. I mean, hello, we're here. All that stuff is good. And it does help. But it's, like I say, the magic happens in the comments. So when you start getting that engagement with people directly, that's where it just goes to the next level. You're just like, whoa. And it's just amazing. Chrissy on Facebook says, you hold the space for us. Yeah, exactly. So when you have a community, whoever started the community, they're just opening that space for you, to allow everyone else to come in and engage. I mean, that's how I look at it. Is I don't I'm not I don't want to be like the one and only. No, no. I want to be there to support you as much as possible, while you help support me and everyone else. Because remember, teamwork equals success. Kind of messed that one up. Teamwork equals success. And so you want to make sure that you're doing your part and you're just helping. You don't have to know everything. I don't have to know everything. We just need to know the right tools and resources to tap into. That's what that's all about. That's what you need to know. Because that makes the world so much easier, and it makes it so much more fun. So much more. I mean, like I said, Erica's post earlier, Erica's in the group, so like literally we're like, I told you guys in that post, I said, literally, I pinch myself every day that this is my life. I don't know how long it will last, but I'm going to enjoy the heck out of it, because the fact that I can do this and be here right now with you guys is awesome. And it can change at any time. Who knows? I try to protect this time as much as possible, especially for the show. If we're really narrowing things down, I try to protect this time as much as possible, and I try to come up with topics and examples that we can talk about that are going to help you, so then that way you can take it to the next level, or make note so that when you are ready to go to the next level, you know where to go or what to do. Because I know, like, we talked about this, I think, yesterday's episode, about our content and about offering free versus paid and all of that stuff. You have to, all of you guys are probably at some point already offering free and paid options, whether it's services, products, resources, whatever. And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you have free resources that you can point people to, like this, like blog posts, like podcast episodes. All that stuff is the free content that gets people maybe what they need when they need it, and or gets them to that next level. It's like, oh, I didn't think about that, or oh, that's good, but I need more. I need specifics for myself. Let's talk, right? And then that gets you to the next level. So understand, like, that's kind of what we would call your funnel. And that's what you want to think about, is not so much of, oh my gosh, how much content do I need to create? What do I need to create next? What do I have to put in my social media scheduler? Is it on this day or that day? Listen, I am not that type where I try to, I'm not that type where I'm like, okay, I have to have Mondays or this, Tuesdays or this, and that. Like, that may work for some of you, which is great. And in some cases, I guess that could work for me. I go more with, like, what am I feeling right now? And sometimes I have to hold myself back, because I'm like, I want to talk about that so much right now, but I just posted something, so I got to hold out, like, I get better and better not doing that, but you know what I mean? And so I make notes of that, but, go with what works for you. Go with what feels right. And if you're ready to post, then post. If it's something that you want to just talk about it. Try to be as relevant as possible, but that's how you stay visible, is by just talking about it. Doesn't mean you have to be on 24/7. We've been doing a lot of fun things with Facebook Live. Some of you will know this if you follow me personally, but we've been doing this thing called, well, we've kind of made it a thing, Ed in the Kitchen. It's nothing consistent right now. It's just something fun, and it's something that I do on my personal profile. And you guys, it's awesome, because I can go ahead and ask questions about stuff that I'm cooking. Or like today, I did a lunchtime special, and it was about, me knowing what I was making and just sharing it with people, because last night or the night before, I had help with cooking. And it's one of those things, like, it's just me. Like, that it's on my personal, it's just me checking in with my community, with my friends, and asking for advice. You know how much engagement all of that has gotten? Like, it's crazy. And then we start having that deeper conversations. Oh, well, why don't you try this recipe? Oh, why don't you do this? Mickey on Facebook, came in and helped me. She had her, what's the name, Mickey or Erica? I forget the exact one. Something, Rescue, Mickey's Rescue Meals. I'm all over the place, you guys, because I'm so excited about this stuff right now. And so it's just one of those things that it's just fun. The other day I did a live from working out, and it's one of those things. Misty says, "You are too funny in the kitchen." Yeah, hey, all I can think about now, and Mickey now knows this song, is that stir fry. That stir fry song, if you haven't seen it. Mickey's Meal Rescue. There you go. So there's the official name. Mickey now knows this song, but, there's this stir fry song out there. And now every time I'm just like, Ed in the kitchen. Dun, 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 like stir fry, like chicken and stir fry. I don't even know. I'm not going to sing the song because I'm going to embarrass myself and you guys are going to be like, Anyway, but it's just like, that's all I can think of now. And I'm like, oh, Ed's in the kitchen. Who wants to tune in? Like, is this dumb? But whatever, let's just do it. So that's the thing. You just go with it and you just see what works. And if scheduling works for you, great, do it. But don't feel like you have to be so strict on it. If something comes up, it comes up. Just do it. Chrissy on Facebook, you are so authentic and we can resonate with you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you guys, listen. I feel like we're just at the tip of the iceberg. Some of you guys have been following me for a long time now, and like you've seen the transition. This is more like what I am in real life when we hang out, but it's taken me a long time to get more comfortable with being online, with being able to talk to a device, and really, I tried to explain this to a friend today when I met with him. It's one of those things where when I first started, especially we'll use the show, for example. When I first started the show, I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I want to be very professional about the show. I want to pretend like it's almost like, a Good Morning America or something where it's just like you get suited up and you do this and that. And that's fine. Like that could work if we had a budget and we had like producers and all that stuff. We're not there yet. And then I thought, as I've gotten comfortable with this, I'm like, it's a talk show. I'm going to do whatever. I don't care. It's going to be relevant. People are going to tune in and tune out. Whatever. We're going to have a good conversation. We're going to have a fun time. I'm going to break it up and bust out a move. I'm going to say something dumb. I'm going to try to rap. Like, whatever. Why? Because that's who I am. That's what I have fun with. That's what I do in real life. If we were hanging out, that's what I'm going to do in real life. That's what people laugh at. That's what people enjoy. That's what breaks up their day. That's why you guys see me a lot more visibly on my personal profile, doing the dancing, doing the dumb stuff. What I would say dumb, but it's fun, because I know that you need a break. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. I know that now I have that permission to do so, that I don't have to fit this mold. I can just go out there and just do it. And you'll either accept it or not. Most likely you'll accept it because it's fun and it's going to make you feel good. And that's what we all need, right? And it's relatable. So that's what it is. Erica on Facebook says, authentic self is life. Yeah, I almost thought that was a good title, Erica, for a TV show. I thought you were telling me that's a new... see, now I can't even think because we're getting close to the time and my brain's like fried. But kind of like This American Life, I don't watch that, but like the title, when I saw that title, I thought that was a new spin-off. I thought you were telling me I need to have a new spin-off show, Authentic Self with Ed. I don't know. That's kind of a dramatic one. But, in the kitchen with Ed in the kitchen. I think Ed in the kitchen is better because it kind of almost feels like it's going into that song, Stir Fry. But whatever. So you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just stuff like that. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I got to pop onto another call, but just go out there and do your thing. Just do your thing. Don't worry about anybody else. Just do your thing. Show up, deliver, and engage. That's it. That's all you got to do. So I'm going to leave you. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll round out the week, finish out the week tomorrow. If you're not on the email list, you better go join that because I'm going to send out an email tomorrow with a recap of things. Might as well, so that way we're connected. Link is in the bio here on Instagram, Facebook. You have it in the comments, but it's also up top in the About section, or just tag me in the comments and I'll give it directly to you. So have a great night, you guys, and I will see you back here, same time, same place. Take care.